Hello and welcome to the WriteCome.com podcast, where we help you to make money from your words. Each episode will be sharing tips, tricks, and strategies you can use to make more money from your writing, publishing, and marketing to your fans and audience. Let's get started with your host, Barry J. McDonald.
Hi, this is Barry here, and you are very welcome to this podcast episode from WriteCome.com. And today's podcast episode is entitled Your Habits Got You Here, or should I say, my bad habits got me to where I am. Now, there's something that I'm not too proud of. It's no big deal, but to me, it's something that I'm not proud of. I have been taking my health for granted lately, this past couple of months now. Probably like most of us, I started off the year, with a positive note. I was going to do all those different things. And I had done a lot of kind of reading. I've been reading a lot of kind of self-development books, and everybody had been talking about these morning routines. Everybody was getting up early, and they were doing the meditation, and they were doing their scribing or whatever, and they were doing affirmations, but doing all those different things. And for a while, I did jump on that bandwagon, and I did find that when I started my mornings off positively, maybe with a little bit of meditation, maybe with a couple of videos, maybe on YouTube, on motivation and, all those kind of speeches that you'd look up. When I did watch them in the first thing in the morning, it did kind of focus my mind. It did get me positive for the rest of the day. And I did find that, I could get up and get working a lot faster because I had this a little bit of a mental kick in the butt before I began. And as I said, at the start of the year, I was doing a lot of walking. I was doing, I sometimes was out with the dog maybe 2 or 3 times a day. But as the year has gone on, I found myself slipping back into old bad habits that I had, from years ago. And because of that, then my health, I could see it was starting to change. Now, at the moment, I have put on a little bit of weight. Now, to look at me, you probably wouldn't notice it. I'm 6'3", so I can kind of disguise the weight well. But, sometimes when you maybe have put on a couple of pounds, that they're there. And, if you are running up and down the stairs, when you find certain parts of your body start to kind of jiggle around or don't kind of seem as kind of firm and as taut as they were before, it does kind of stick in your mind. So, as I said, when I was running up and down the stairs, I could just feel these kind of extra pounds kind of jiggling around as I was running in the stairs. And even looking in the mirror, again, I was somebody who used to take my health a lot seriously. I used to do a lot of kind of weight training and kind of working out. So I was always in kind of decent enough shape. But as I looked in the mirror this past couple of months, I did find that I was kind of developing a pair of love handles that, probably shouldn't have been as big as they were and probably shouldn't have been there in the first place. Now, I don't know what way your year has gone. Probably with COVID and everything, it probably has thrown a spanner in the works, and maybe it isn't, at the part or at the point where you want it to be. And sometimes it's easy for us to kind of throw our hands up in the air and admit defeat and kind of say, well, what can I do about this? I'm overweight, and complaining about it and all that. And, if you do maybe just consider that where we are right now is probably due to the habits we have taken on. So this could be maybe habits of maybe not exercising as much as you used to, in my case. And again, also in my case, probably eating too much. And again, having this kind of mantra in the back of my mind saying, oh, I'll take care of my diet tomorrow. I'll eat a bit cleaner. It's the weekend, of course. It's the weekend. I can treat myself to an extra kind of ice cream or whatever, or I can do that. And unfortunately, those bad habits, as I said, they did start creeping up on me, and I could see my health going down the wrong kind of street because of it. And as well too, because I wasn't starting off my mornings well, I wasn't getting into my work as quickly as I used to. It was taking me longer in the day to get started, and some days I would, again, being lazy because I wasn't as positive as I was before, I would maybe just half-arse whatever work I was doing today, and then again saying to myself, well, I'll make it up tomorrow. I'll do more tomorrow to kind of make up for that. And again, I was probably like most people on this kind of proverbial kind of kicking the can down the road, waiting for tomorrow to kind of catch up and to take up the slack for all the previous days that I hadn't actually done the work. But As I said, my habits had brought me to the point that where I am right now, and over this past couple of weeks, probably about a month or so, my habits have taken a massive U-turn. Now at the moment I have started to get up earlier. I'm not somebody who would be one of those people who would get up at the crack of dawn, so we're not talking about me getting out of bed at 4 o'clock in the morning and going for a 10-mile run in the morning, but while I wouldn't be a kind of morning person, I have forced myself to get up a little bit earlier than I used to. I would sometimes wait until I had the school run done before I would maybe go out with a walk with Summer in the mornings. But now I've changed that this past couple of weeks. Every morning now at the stroke of 6:30 in the morning, my alarm goes off, and I give myself half an hour to read something positive, read something from maybe a Stoic book or some kind of positive book to kind of get my mind in a kind of good place, and then I head off for my morning walk. So at the moment, me and Summer, because we can't use the previous field we had walked around in because they were digging it up and they were planning to put houses into it, we unfortunately have to move to another place to do our walk. And so at the moment I am driving her down the road down to our local GAA, the athletic football field, and we are doing laps in there. Now I like actually going at that time in the morning because of the winter hours and everything. When I actually get to the field, it's completely pitch black, and some mornings all I have is maybe the moon in the sky and the stars kind of lighting the way as I'm walking around. Now I'm not wearing a head torch or anything like that. I do enjoy actually walking around in the dark with the dog. And as I said, one of the new habits that I have taken on, not only getting up early, has been to listen to something positive as I'm walking around for the 30 minutes or 40 minutes I do every day before I come back and do the school runs. And at the moment I am listening to an old audiobook by Bob Proctor. It's his Born Rich seminar, and I've been listening to that consistently every day for the past 3 or 4 weeks. Every day I would get it out and I would listen to his seminar for 30 or 40 minutes at a time. And I have found that, when I do come back, my head is in a better place because of that. I do find that I am actually happier during the day because I have kind of started off with something positive rather than kind of switching on the news or looking at Twitter or going into Facebook and kind of getting caught up in some kind of drama that's going on social media, or kind of listening to what Trump has said or some celebrity has said, and all this kind of negativity that's going on all the different platforms. So I've stayed away from that, and as I said, I am trying to fill my head with something good and positive in the morning before I actually begin. And I have to say that, while I wouldn't have said that I am a morning person, I really, really am, some mornings I actually am excited. Now that probably seems a bit crazy, that how would anybody be excited to get up at 6:30 in the morning? But because I am kind of starting it well, and I'm starting on a positive footing, there is a part of me that is actually relishing the fact that I am getting some good things done in the morning. I'm getting up early, I'm getting up while it's dark, I'm probably getting up earlier than maybe some people who are who live around me, and because I'm getting some work done, I am starting on a good footing. And at the moment as well too, Catherine a couple of weeks back had got a second-hand treadmill, and I have started attacking that every day. So every day at the moment, probably around the end of the day, I would probably go for maybe a 2 or 3 mile run. Now, while, as I said, my bad habits have got me to where I am, the only way I can change how I'm feeling, the positivity I have in my mind, the workload I am probably going to do that day, and also my health, is for me to take on better habits. And I want you to think about that for the moment. And sometimes, unfortunately, depending on whatever hand life has given us, we kind of, throw up our hands and say, well, there's nothing I can do about this. I'm always going to have this weight. I'm always going to be in this situation where I'm going to have no money. I'm always going to be around these negative people and all that. And maybe you're, throwing up your hands and you are kind of just quitting before you kind of maybe look and see, is there a solution out of your way? And I want you maybe just to think about, where you are right now is probably the habits you have taken on. Again, like me, maybe you are overeating, maybe you're not exercising as much, maybe you aren't putting as much positivity into your head, maybe you listen to too many negative people, maybe you're hanging around on social media platforms that aren't kind of, doing the best for you. And maybe it's time for you maybe to take on new habits. So for you to get out of where you are right now, it's habits that actually got you into it, and it's going to be habits that are going to get you back out of it. Now, as I said, over this past 3 or 4 weeks, I have noticed a huge difference in my mindset. I have noticed a huge kind of difference in my attitude. You know, some mornings when I used to do the school runs, when I had just jumped out of bed, when I used to do the school runs in the morning, sometimes maybe if I was caught off in traffic, it would really, really annoy me and it would anger me. And sometimes, you know, somebody might have done something to me maybe 20 minutes or 30 minutes ago beforehand in the traffic, and I would still kind of carry around that anger in me for longer in the morning. But as I said, as I have taken on my positive attitudes, I don't really care as much anymore. It's not that I don't care if somebody cuts me off, of course I do, but I don't dwell on it as long. I have found that I have a stronger mindset and I don't kind of dwell on the negativity, and that is because I am taking on these kind of new habits, new daily actions I'm doing, getting up early in the morning, exercising more, getting that kind of positivity into my mind first thing for 30 or 40 minutes at a time, and doing that every single time, not just Monday to Friday, but I'm also getting up on Saturdays and Sundays too. And you know, I can say it's doing a really, really big difference for me in my life at the moment. So you know, some people unfortunately are probably going to wait until January time to maybe turn around their lives, but why wait until January? Why even wait until Monday, you know, to make a change in your life? You know, as I said, your bad habits or whatever your habits you have right now have got you to the point where you are in right now. And for you to get out of the position you're in right now, it's going to involve other habits. Again, they may be the complete different opposite habits of what you're doing right now. So if you're not exercising, well then maybe it's time to exercise. If you're overeating, maybe it's time to eat less. All those different things. Now that doesn't mean that you have to take on 100 different new habits, you know, all in one go and try and change your life overnight. It's going to take time. It's going to take a gradual process. But just keep that in mind today, that where you are right now is because of the habits you have taken on, or maybe the lack of good habits maybe you've taken on. And for you to get out of where you are right now is going to involve more habits, and probably habits that are going to send you in the different direction. So as I said, I don't know if that's going to help you today, but I know, as I said, this past couple of weeks I have noticed a big difference in my life when I have taken on new habits than I had before, because, you know, it was sending me down a path I wasn't happy to go on, and I wasn't happy with the end result, and looking in the mirror and finding all those jiggly parts on me. So that is why I'm taking up new habits. So maybe that could be something you could take up right now. You know, maybe you don't need to wait until January, maybe you don't need until Monday. Maybe tomorrow morning could be the start of some new habit. As I said, maybe even taking one habit on, just changing one habit in your day will kind of slowly turn or veer you off maybe the destination that you're going right now. It's going to send you in a completely different direction because you're doing that. So as always, if you'd like to find out more about me, or if you'd like to reach out to me, you can find me at barryjmcdonald@gmail.com. or if you'd like to find more of the Writecom content, if you're into self-publishing or writing, you're very, very welcome to look at the content. It's all over the web. So if you do a search on Google, or you do it on iTunes, or you do it on Facebook or whatever, if you do a search for Writecom, that's WRITECOME.com, as I said, you'll find the content all over the web. And as always, you know, if you like this podcast, if you'd like to maybe share an episode with somebody else, or if you'd like to just get in touch and let me know what you think of it, the direction it's going, or if you'd like me to cover anything in an upcoming episode, again, feel free to reach out at the email address I'd mentioned earlier on. And as always, thanks for sharing your time again today. Take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us today. If you'd like more from the Writecom.com podcast, be sure to subscribe now for more tips, tricks, and ideas you can use to make more money from your words. See you in the next episode.